Hi all, we're trying something a little different this week. I'm not sure if you'll be able to tell, but we're going to try it anyways. Instead of my stream of consciousnessing into a voice note and then transcribing it, I'm flipping the script, or more accurately, I'm actually writing it. Whether or not I can read this well is another matter. Yikes. Anyhow, this is Scrap Kitchen. Fucked it up already. The podcast and newsletter where I detail the process of managing a farm with my beloved while we plan for next year's farm in the UK and how in the hell we go about doing that. If that sounds interesting, fun, or like a train wreck that you kind of can't look away from, consider subscribing. If it doesn't, no hard feelings, but maybe read or listen to a little bit of this post and then let me have it in the comment section, whatever kids do these days. Some housekeeping. Scrap Kitchen will now be coming out on Wednesdays. 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is what I'm aiming for. This change is mostly because my work week is adjusted. We're now working Wednesday to Sunday so that the farmstand and UPIC can be open, and therefore my writing, reading, speaking has to be adjusted too. As for personal life updates, I've been snatching time between the unending asparagus harvest and the demands of the season to be a beta reader for a friend's manuscript. Actually, over this winter, I wrote about 65,000 words of a little story, and I've now sent it off to various friends so that they can tear it apart and also hopefully make it better. But in all honesty, I kind of actually forgot that I had done this. I was too busy with the farm and reading someone else's manuscript. And apparently this is ideal for when you send stuff off to beta readers, because when it gets sent back, absolutely eviscerated, I probably won't be as attached to it, and that's good. But all this to say, I've been busy, so busy that I actually forgot that I wrote something book length. Current farm updates. You might have heard it's a kind of the frantic tone in my voice, or maybe in the pretentious words. Yeah, portentous, like a portent. Words of last week. The asparagus is here. It's back, baby. For the next 6 weeks, the farm team and I will be harvesting 3 acres of asparagus on the southern side of our cultivation area. 2 hours every morning. Pretty much, yes, 6 mornings a week. If you haven't harvested asparagus before, the process is pretty simple. Wait until it's longer than your hand, reach down with said hand, grab the stalk, and snap. Put the asparagus in a bucket, repeat for 2 hours. And yes, it really does grow like it's a practical joke. Not only is the asparagus keeping us busy, but so is opening the CSA and the farm stand. We now have over 50 people signed up to pick up vegetables every week. We were predicting this, but it still comes as a shock. These shares have to be harvested, rinsed, bagged, packed, and handed out, all while we sell the spare vegetables that we have in the farm stand. And the way the asparagus has been growing, we have plenty spare. But also, it sells out. The start of the CSA, which will continue uninterrupted for the next 24 weeks, has got my partner and I thinking about our future farm, about how, where, and to whom we wish to sell vegetables. There are so many things to consider. Do we do delivery? Do we allow flexibility? Something where people have a prepaid card and select what veg they want in their share each week? Do we keep things simple? Do we do the same share for everyone and therefore intimidate people who don't like new vegetables, or even worse, overload them and eventually cause them to waste veg that they can't eat? Do we collaborate with other farms? Do we want people to pick up from us if we don't do delivery? Where would they pick that up? Local schools? Markets? Libraries? From our farm? Yeah. And that's just one element of the farm. This raises another question. Do we even do a CSA? At least for that, we have an answer. Why even do a CSA is the question. See? Can't read. Why do a CSA? At least for that, we have an answer. When someone purchases a CSA share from the local farm, they aren't just buying vegetables. They're investing in the future of the farm. It's quite literally a farm share. They are putting their money behind local agriculture, and in return, they get future vegetables, which is very stock market. But they aren't just getting vegetables, or the promise of them, futures. They're staking a claim in the farm and its produce. I care enough about this farm to commit to them for a season. This sense of connection fostered over time lets people know that the farm, lets people get to know the farm, their local region, and what is seasonally available. And in return, the farmer gets a sense of security that is sorely lacking in most agricultural interactions. The farmer knows that people will have paid ahead, and therefore those people will eat what they have produced, and this can be planned for. Guaranteed 50 lettuce heads a week, already sold, is a weight off any farmer's shoulders. Not only that, but purchasing a CSA share in the early season allows farmers to work when they're not technically earning. The spring is a time when you're planting, prepping, and generally getting the plants ready to grow. It's not a bountiful time of harvest, not usually. So how does a farmer pay their workers? How do they pay themselves? Well, more often than not, they get into debt. The average farm in America is $1.3 million in debt. Let's just let the enormity of that number settle into your bones. $1.3 million in debt. Of course, I have some caveats. This is industrial, conventional, chemical agriculture. They already exploit their workers. They already have measly margins. Most farmers have measly margins. But if this is what the state-sanctioned farms, those supported by grade subsidies and expensive chemical intervention, if this is how well they're doing, imagine how rough it is for less conventional farmers. This is not the kind of farm we want to run. Not by a long shot. But to avoid crushing debt, to grow food for people, not feedlots, you need to have a little community buy-in. And startup capital, RIPR savings. CSAs help with this. A tricky time for small farmers when they struggle to have capital in the new season, and is assured customers at the other end. On the customer's side, CSAs work out a lot cheaper in the long run. The contents are often worth a lot more than the share itself. You might get $40 worth of vegetables for a $30 a week share. And not only because the farmer is grateful for the initial support, but also because the CSAs allow farmers to distribute abundance, to give back when they have more. All this to say is that you should look for your local CSA via community-supported agriculture in the UK and local harvest in the US. Sign up for one today. In other farm news, we have one more team member starting soon. We've also planted all of our brassicas, thanks to a local Girl Scout troop. Our tomatoes are planted in the tunnels, and the ones still in pots are itching to outgrow them and be planted in the great outdoors. We're waiting on some cold nights to pass, but when they are gone, those babies are going in the ground, and I cannot wait. We also have our arches up. That was me shouting. I should have shouted. We do have our arches up. I'm very excited. Joy, excitement, fear that my butterfly blue peas are not germinating well, but no matter. The arches are up. They're ready to be stocked with funky cucumbers, including salt and pepper, Bodby's blonde, lemon and cucamelons, and some stunning runner beans. The farm is really shaping up. You can see it becoming what it will be in the middle of the season, and all the actions that we're laying out now and how they'll play out later on. Each block is uncovered from its winter occultation and is planted the moment it sees the sun. And on the horizon, this week, in fact, we will be getting a delivery of 11,000 frozen strawberry plants. They'll need thawing and then planting. Easy. May is a big month. And just like with the squash bugs, it's kind of crush or be crushed. As a future farm update, this is it. I'm saying it. We will have a business plan into the land match scheme by the end of the month, so help me God. Is it the crunch time of the year? Yes. Is it when we also need to start getting a visa? Yes. Is it a lot? Also yes. But we can also kind of do it. It's also fine. Mostly we're chugging through the financials at the moment in the snatched hours between farming and having a life. And we'll keep on. And we shall keep on trucking until the deed is done. That's it. That's all. See you on the flip side, which is next Wednesday. All right, bye.